You hit $10,000, and suddenly you're scared to spend. You reach $100,000, and now you're scared to lose it. You cross $1 million, and weirdly, the anxiety doesn't disappear. It mutates. Why? Because no one tells you this. Financial anxiety doesn't go away when you make more money. It levels up with you. Look at the data. High earners consistently report stress levels equal to or higher than middle-income households. Even among millionaires, studies show a persistent fear of running out of money. Not because they're bad with finances, but because the stakes feel bigger. At $1,000, you're worried about survival. At $100,000, you're worried about mistakes. At $1 million, you're worried about losing control. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The more money you have, the more complex your financial world becomes. More decisions, more risk exposure, more invisible pressure to not mess it up. So, if money is supposed to buy peace of mind, why does it often buy the opposite? What's really going on here isn't just about money. It's about how your brain processes security, risk, and identity as your financial life expands. And once you see it, you won't look at wealth the same way again. Most people think financial anxiety is a math problem. Earn more, save more, invest better, and the fear disappears. But that's not how it works. Your brain doesn't measure money in absolute numbers. It measures it in relative security. And here's where things get interesting. As your income grows, your baseline for feeling safe quietly moves with it. At $3,000 a month, an unexpected $500 expense feels like a crisis. At $20,000 a month, it's not the $500 that scares you. It's the idea of your income dropping to $10,000. See the shift? The anxiety isn't tied to what you have. It's tied to what you're afraid of losing. This is rooted in a real psychological principle: loss aversion. Humans feel losses roughly twice as intensely as gains. So, when your net worth increases, your potential loss becomes bigger in your mind, even if your actual lifestyle is secure. And then there's lifestyle inflation. Not the obvious kind. Cars, watches, vacations, the subtle kind, better schools, safer neighborhoods, higher expectations, a more expensive normal. You don't feel rich, you feel locked in. Now, layer on financial complexity. At higher income levels, your money isn't just sitting in a savings account. It's spread across markets, assets, businesses, maybe even global exposure. That introduces volatility, something you can't fully control. So now your peace of mind is tied to things like interest rates, market cycles, and economic policy. Things you definitely don't control. And this is where the anxiety evolves again. It stops being about spending decisions and starts becoming about uncertainty itself. You check your investments more often. You second-guess decisions that were perfectly rational. You start asking, what if this isn't enough? Not because it isn't, but because your brain is wired to protect what you've built. So the system is clear, more money increases your options, but it also increases the number of ways things can go wrong. And that tension, that's what most people feel, but can't explain. And this is where everything flips. Because the real danger isn't that you'll run out of money. It's that you'll spend your entire life feeling like you might. That low-grade anxiety, it doesn't just sit there. It shapes your decisions, quietly, constantly. You delay things you can easily afford. You over-optimize every financial move. You keep chasing just a little more because you think that's the number where it finally clicks. But here's the problem. There is no fixed number. Research on wealth perception shows that as people's net worth increases, their definition of rich moves further away. Someone with $1 million often says they'd feel secure at $2 to $3 million. Someone with $5 million says $10 million. It's a moving target, by design. Because what you're really chasing isn't money, it's certainty. And money can reduce risk, but it can never eliminate uncertainty. So, if you build your entire sense of security on a number, you're signing up for a game you literally cannot win. This is why some of the most financially successful people still feel stuck. Not because they lack resources, but because they never built a framework for enough. Enough isn't a number, it's a decision. It's knowing your baseline, understanding your actual expenses, not your imagined worst-case scenarios, separating real risk from psychological fear. And most importantly, it's recognizing that control over your behavior matters more than control over every possible outcome. Because the truth is, financial freedom isn't just about having more, it's about needing less certainty to feel okay. Once you see that, the entire game changes. You stop playing defense with your life and start actually using the money you worked so hard to build. And that might be the most uncomfortable realization of all.